Hello and welcome to a 20-minute arms and core workout, no weights necessary. We are going to start this workout standing up on our mat and spread our legs about shoulder width apart and reach our arms up so that our body is kind of in the shape of a starfish. And these first 4 exercises are just a warm-up. So we are going to touch the ground, touch our toe, and keep our arms tight for this exercise, holding them up and reaching down. For our next exercise, we are going to be bringing it down to the ground, and we are going to be doing arm circles, extending our arms out to each side and circling forward for 10 reps and then backwards for 10 reps. Switching it up, going backwards. Next, we are going to warm up our core a bit. So we are going to lay down flat on our back. Keeping our knees bent. Lifting ourselves up and reaching for the heel of our foot. And then our last warm-up exercise, we are going to lift our feet and reach for our feet as we crunch up. After this, we are going to get into our actual workout, which will consist of 3 different sets of exercises. So we are going to start our first set, which will be focused on arms primarily, starting with some tricep dips, positioning yourself this way for 10 reps here. The next exercise we are going to do is a reverse plank. So we are going to leave our legs extended long and lift our pelvis up, using our arms and shoulders to really power through and lift ourselves up only for 5 reps. This is a difficult exercise. And then our final exercise in this set of exercises is shoulder taps. So we are going to position ourselves in a high plank and we are going to tap each shoulder for 10 reps. And then after this exercise, we are going to start that sequence over again, starting with our tricep dips. Lifting our booty slightly off the ground and dipping down with our arms. Keeping our feet planted on the ground for 10 reps. Taking a little break, stretching out those arms if you need before going into those reverse planks. And only 5 reps here. You can hold for as long as you'd like. You can hold for longer than I am, or you can hold for less time when you're doing this exercise. And then our last exercise in this sequence, before we do it one more time, we're going to go into our shoulder taps into a high plank. This 20-minute exercise is really intensive, so please take your time with it and go as slow as you need to, and take breaks. And we only have one more set of that sequence before we move on to our next sequence. So getting ready for our last 10 tricep dips of this workout. Transitioning now into our final 5 reverse planks. Your arms are probably really burning right now, but they are going to get a little bit of a break with the core exercises that we are going to do in our next sequence. Now our final exercise in this sequence before moving on, we are going to do 10 more shoulder taps. Now moving into our second sequence of exercises is going to be focused on the core. We are going to go onto all fours and do an exercise called bird dog, which is extending your leg and opposite arm to form a line with your body while keeping the other arm and leg in contact with the ground. So we are going to do 10 reps here. Now moving on to our next core exercise, we are going to get on the ground, extend our arms in front of us, and lift our arms and legs at the same time for 10 reps. This is a great exercise for your back, so it's a really great exercise for your core in general. I love doing these types of exercises, and after this we are going to actually stay in the same position and do somewhat of a similar exercise called swimmers, where we keep our body lifted up in the position that it is going with each of these reps. So staying in that flat position, we are lifting our legs and arms and pulling our arms backwards towards our legs as if we are swimming. This is a great exercise for not only your core but also your arms, so hopefully your arms have had enough of a break that this exercise isn't too difficult. So that was our first set for that sequence. We are going to do 2 more sets of those 3 exercises. So getting back to all fours to do our bird dogs, extending opposite arm with opposite leg to form a line with our body. Really keeping that core engaged, making sure not to arch our back or hunch our back. This is really great to focus on balance with your body. The stronger your core, the better your balance will be. So if you're a little shaky when you lift the opposite arm and leg and you're only being supported by one arm and one leg, that is completely normal. Moving now to our next exercise in this sequence, extending our arms in front, legs behind, and lifting both up at the same time for 10 reps. Finishing here and moving on to our final exercise in this sequence before we do our last round of it. Doing our swimmers, holding our legs up and pulling our arms backwards. So after 2 rounds of that sequence, we only have 1 more round left. Getting back into our tabletop or all fours position, doing our bird dogs, extending one arm with the opposite leg for 10 reps. Giving it everything you've got for this last set of this sequence before moving on to our final sequence of workouts for this 20-minute arms and core burner. Going down now into our laying position. Extending arms in front and legs behind. We are going to do 10 reps, lifting our arms and legs at the same time. Now moving to our final workout in this sequence. Our swingers, extending our arms forward, legs up, pulling our arms backwards. After this exercise, we are going to move into our final sequence of workouts. It is going to be an arm and core-based sequence, but 3 workouts just the same as the past 2 sequences, and we will be doing them 3 times. What's different about this upcoming sequence is that it's more of a flow in that you don't necessarily stop in between each move. So we are going to start by doing 5 push-ups. You can do modified as I'm doing, or you can do high plank style. It's up to you. We're going to do 5 push-ups here. And after that, we are going to lift into a high plank position and hold. Then moving into a side plank position and holding. Coming back down and doing 5 more push-ups. Lifting into a high plank position and holding before switching to the opposite side plank than the one that you just did. And holding. This was super challenging, but it's a great way to finish out your workout. And as I'm doing, please take a break in between each set of this workout. So that was our first set, and we are going to do 2 more exactly like that. So getting ready for our push-ups. 5 push-ups. Moving into a high plank for a hold. And then moving to whichever side you would prefer to do first, knowing that we are going to do the next side after going back down. Five push-ups. High plank. Then moving to our other side plank. Coming back down and taking one final break before we finish out this sequence of exercise. One more round is all we have. We are also going to do a quick stretch at the end of this 20-minute workout. Going into push-up position for our final set. 5 push-ups. Moving into high plank. Side plank to whichever side you would prefer. Moving back down for our final set of push-ups. And our final high plank before switching to the opposite side of the one that we just did and doing our final side plank hold before moving into some stretches to really stretch those arm muscles and stretch our core. First, just doing what is considered a cobra position, really just lifting yourself up with your arms and stretching that core. And moving back into what is known as child's pose, extending your arms, letting your chest fall forward towards the ground. Moving up, we are going to stretch out our arms as well as our wrist. We're going to start by just stretching out our wrists. That workout was probably pretty intense on the wrist. I know mine were hurting because we did a lot of exercises where our wrists were on the ground at a 90-degree angle. So just stretch those out, move them around, and then we can move into our arm stretches, pulling one arm in front of our body and holding it with our other arm for a nice stretch. Switching it behind our head and pulling it towards our other arm. switching and doing the same stretch on the other side. And just really holding our hands completely extended and moving them up and down. This is great for your biceps, extending your thumbs. Thanks for joining me, guys. Have a good one. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for weekly workouts such as this one. Thanks.